to the Black Blank Games podcast. I'm not looking at 4090 concepts because I'm totally not a fucking loser.
So not.
Look, just because I want to have the best computer out of all of our friends and thus be able to sit there and lord it over them all, over select people, not anyone on the show, and probably definitely not Rory, because Rory would make fun of me more than he already does not make me a bad person. Actually, that's the definition of making me a bad person. Hi, Allan. How are you? You haven't been on the show for 2 weeks.
I thought it was 3. Whatever.
It was 2.
I've been good. Busy with school and family stuff. I could have showed up for that podcast 2 Saturdays ago, but like I got home and I just no, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Long day of fucking moving shit.
I mean, the second one, if you showed up right before the recording, you would have came in right at the perfect preamble, because me and Josh had a great preamble.
Oh?
Yeah, you missed the story about Jeff buying warranty.
Yeah,
from GameStop.
Oh God, why would you buy warranty? Actually, no. Depends upon the game. Actually, I will accept certain warranty for certain games.
It was Devil May Cry 5, and I asked the lady, does it cover me throwing the game into a blender?
No. Why?
Oh, just because I want to be funny.
That's... Oh my God. Jeff, I'm going to reiterate this. Don't be cringe.
Yeah. It's too late for that. Josh, how are you this week?
I'm good.
How is your lack of influence of me on your life?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay. We got some good bangers topics this week, including turning back to Allan's thing, and I wish I had done Allan later, because I could easily have taken his cringe comment and say, nope, too late for that. I watched the Halo TV series and I actually thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It's so close to being. Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. The plot. It is not Halo. It is not Halo in the slightest.
What is it?
It is. It is a show. It is your classic military, social, economic bullshit drama crap.
Well,
with Halo's clothing.
From what I understand, I hate the fact that it's an alternate universe, not doing something like.
It is.
No. There's actually a lot of things that happen with the Master Chief that we don't get to see in Halo, the Halo universe. We don't see the what is it, 20 years leading up to Reach?
We don't see the 20 years leading up to Reach. We don't see
the insurrection.
We don't see anything like that.
But there's the insurgency would have been a really good story arc, because don't involve the Covenant, don't do anything like that. Just focus on Master Chief. Don't even focus on Master Chief. Maybe focus on a squad. This is the problem with Halo show. I don't think you need to focus on Spartans.
No,
and
you don't.
I think the better thing would have been focused on either a group of Marines or a group of ODSTs attached to a ONI liaison, which there gives you your spy and
you know the show that you're describing.
I know it's not the show.
Yeah, it's not this show. You're describing Halo Forward Onto Dawn.
Well, no, I'm not describing Forward Onto Dawn. That's a UNSC training camp, and it still ends up dealing with the Covenant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I'm describing is one of the books. It technically has the Covenant in it, but it's actually more like secret espionage between the UNSC, the Separatists, and the Covenant, all playing a three-way party with Spartans involved. I think it's Spartan Team Black that's involved in that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, Master Chief shows up in that one, I think, and he shows up at the end.
Well, he shows up at the end because they're wrapping up on Reach, getting ready for something else.
Yeah, the thing with the Halo TV show is it nails its aesthetic. The EOD armor is in the show.
Yeah.
There's stuff in this show that is pure Halo. The stuff that's infuriating is they mention Reach. They show Reach. And then they show Sword Base, and it's like it's not Sword Base from the games. Okay, whatever. They have the Wardog in the show. They have the assault rifle. They have the DMR. They have all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, and John doesn't remember anything about his childhood.
Yeah, well, that's actually how.
It's like,
that's how that should be.
It's like, hold on. There was literally a conversation in Fall of Reach where Halsey sits there and says, no, that's a burden they're going to have to carry. They're going to have to understand that. Like, there are parts where Halsey goes, no, we're not doing this to the Spartans. We're erasing their memories. Whereas in this show, Halsey was okay with it. And it's like, I want to sit there and I want to say, like, it's... My honest opinion is the show is like a 6 out of 10.
Well,
because it nails the aesthetic so well.
Episode 1, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But then it's like everything else just makes me upset.
Yeah. I've heard nothing good about it.
Mm-hmm.
So... I guess we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the show develops out. I've heard nothing good about the first episode, though. I heard that I've heard that it's plotting. It's got a little bit patronizing stuff to it. They're very much doing they're not focusing on. They're making the story initially about John, but they're going to subvert that apparently.
I honestly am going to watch it so that way then by the end of this
you can give a proper critic.
I can sit there and say that I actually hate it, and then Josh can sit there and like pretend that he doesn't know me for 20 minutes while I sit there.
You're being like that vampire from season 4 of Castlevania. I hate this. Then why are you here? I want to hate it properly, so that she's experiencing, so that she understands why she hates it.
Yes. No, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I want to hate it properly. It's like whenever it's like when I hate something, I want to hate it properly. So then I can sit there and be like,
So
this aspect wasn't that bad. This aspect made me want to kill myself.
So you're hate watching?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it could be worse. I could have hate watched Twilight.
I think the only thing I ever... Well, I didn't hate watch, but I hate played. Because I had like zero care, but I was like, well, I want achievements, and this is kind of easy to do. And it was, was it Monkey? No, it was To the West or something like that, or Journey to the West or whatever. It was that game for the 360 where it was kind of set in the future, but the whole story and mythos about it is set to that story about the monkey that protects the king from China lore, I think.
You're talking about Journey to the West?
Yeah. But it was a game for the 360, and a game is probably called Going to the West or something. But again, the game's set in the future, and you can do all this combo stuff and attack monsters and whatever. But I hate played it because I was like, I had zero care playing it, but I wanted the achievements, so
I think that game was Brad Shoemaker's like Game of the Year.
Was it? Because, when I was playing it, although when I was playing on hard difficulty, so that's probably why I have a little disdain for it. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know, like, sure, it's Journey to the West, but I'm like, it's just Journey to the West. Like, I think there's maybe better interpretations of this, and also, the harder difficulty didn't make me like it even further. And I just thought the game was just kind of meh. Like I just felt it was just so like, yeah, this is Journey to the West, but just nothing awesome or cool about it. I felt it's generic, like very generic. Like other than like it had cool things going for it, but I was like, I feel nothing special ever. There's the entirety of that playthrough. So, yeah. I want to play it a little bit more. I have never played that game. I still need to finish off Devil May Cry 5 though. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I freaking played like what? I had 30 minutes of that.
30 minutes.
30 hot minutes. It was cool. 30 hot minutes.
Yeah. It's It was great, but yeah, no, my suggestion is for Alan to never watch the show. And if Alan is going to watch the show, record his opinions while he's watching the show, so that way then like we can at least post it as a podcast. And that way then like while Alan's watching episode 1, we can sit there and like I'll listen to it and I'll edit it, and then he can sit there and be like, I hate this. I literally hate this.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to. I'm not going to do anything related to it because, like, I know it's going to be trash. I don't want anything to do with it because I don't want to be tainted by its fucking filth.
No, you don't want to be tainted by its taint.
I honestly would be scared having Alan over because I think my TV would get a hole in it.
No,
It would be the moment the Indian commander got on screen, and he would probably be like, "What?"
No. You gotta realize, like, I don't mind, like, because the UNSC actually makes sense to have like a diverse, like, amount of people, because like, and I would have actually no problem. I think one of the most famous admirals in the UNSC, I think, is actually like has a Hungarian last name. You have Cole, which is of course one of the other famous admiral. You have Hood, and all these guys are like named after very specific admirals and stuff. Like I think Hood is named after Lord Hood. Is named after quite literally Admiral Lord Hood from British history. I do believe Cole is named after the U.S. admiral. I think it's Oh my God, Admiral Cole. I actually have to look this up because I know there's Preston Cole. That's his name. Am I thinking of something else? U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, like actually no, Colt doesn't actually have anybody he's based off of. Interesting. But though there's like Zelensky, or not Zelensky. Oh my God.
You're thinking of the Ukrainian guy.
Yeah. No, I'm not thinking of the prime minister. Like there is actually like an admiral in the books that has a name that starts with a Z. I just can't remember what it is. But like a bunch of like all the characters, it's actually like a really diverse cast of characters, but they're not just token. They're built in to make sense. They don't just go, oh yes, I'm from X country. No, it's like a really good. Remember, the name of the drive is the Fukushima shift drive.
Yeah, slip space drive.
Yeah,
this is the Fukushima slip space drive. Yeah, no, like the parts where people are like, oh yeah, like they have this admiral and stuff like that. She's honestly the worst part of the show. And like I don't like. Here's the thing. I don't think Keys is the worst.
Fujikawa translate drive. Sorry. Yeah. I had to correct that because even I was like,
So the admiral, I don't think the admiral is the most incompetent character ever.
Yeah,
because she goes, the Master Chief is our top asset. He's the most important asset. And you're like, okay, cool. And then she's like 2 minutes later, she's like, kill him, fucking kill him. Get rid of him?
If he's your top asset, why are you killing him?
Yeah, exactly. And then the best part of that entire show is and the best part of that show is like honestly the aesthetic and how they did the weapons and stuff like that. That looks good. The elites look okay. But like it's like keys, both of the keys are actually done really well for like them being totally different characters. Like they're not at all stoic.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't actually understand how like your military like structure is actually supposed to be. Like if you're getting a dressing down, you don't argue back with your officer, and if you do, you're likely getting thrown in the brig.
Yeah.
Miranda
doesn't pick a fight; she picks a fight with her dad.
Yeah. Oh, I still don't understand why they did that with Keys.
But I think the actor's fine.
No, I suspect he is. I just don't understand the logic behind it. I don't get it. Because there's some really good actors that I would make for Keys that are not him. That are like, but like again, I suspect he's a good actor, but whatever. Like good characters, like good military characters, they won't argue And like actually, I can get a scene for you, where from Star Trek Next Generation, where it's Data,
Oh, yeah.
Data and Worf. Data's been put in charge of the ship. He's the acting captain, and Worf is his number 2, his second in command. Worf, all throughout the whole point of the show up to this point, has been like immediately questioning. Like when Data makes this choice, he kind of immediately questions it in front of the crew, which you're not supposed to do as second command. The moment you're in second command, your orders to make sure that the thing that you choose is committed and done. That means you are like his voice. You are the rod of his authority compared to the voice of authority, which is the captain. So then Data invites him over to the ready room, turns around and says, I can't have you acting like that. And like it's actually like in a very professional way. It's like, as second in command, in second in command, you're supposed to be doing this. You are not doing that because you're constantly questioning my command, constantly undermining my authority. And Worf tries like, well, when I speak freely as to the captain, and he's like, yes, but that's when you're acting as chief of security. Right now, you're my second command, and the point of the second command is to make sure that you do make sure my orders are carried out. And Worf kind of pauses, thinks for a moment, and goes, I apologize. If you wish to have Geordi LaForge as your second command, I will accept the position back to as head of security. And like it's very mature, it's very well done, and it's really like it's the reason why like a lot of people don't understand that good character writing is understanding what kind of environment they're in, what kind of characters they are. And this doesn't mean like, oh, he's a hot-headed, so even if he's in this situation, he'll be very hot-headed. It may be that like he bristles when he gets dressed down. So like he Worf actually does bristle a bit when Data dresses him down, and they pause and he thinks, because he's still a warrior, he's still a fighter. He has to understand that, yes, I'm screwing up, and in doing so, I'm being dishonorable, and he acts in accordance. And it's actually really well done. And it's the reason why, like, a lot of people don't understand good modern, whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I honestly. Here's the thing I've accepted with this show. This show is not for me, the Halo fan. This show is not for you, the Halo fan. The show is for people like my dad.
I would recommend them to watch Forward Unto Dawn, Fall of Reach.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean.
Well,
I mean, it's...
Go ahead.
I mean, like, my dad doesn't care about Halo's lore. He doesn't really care. But, like, for him, he's like one of those guys who, like, loves Star Trek. And he's like, he likes Picard, even though that show's trash. He likes aspects of like newer age shows, because for him, it's something that he watches with my mom, and they just sit there and they just enjoy it. Whereas, like, for me, I watch shows because they're good and they're entertaining for me for that purpose.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, my dad's not necessarily paying attention all the time. He doesn't really care.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing is like people. Well, that's the thing is people don't pay attention to what's being talked about. So I think that's a little bit of a worry. But at the same time, it's, I know people like you can enjoy what you want, but you have to be critical of what you're watching too. Yeah. This is Josh.
Josh,
have you watched the show? Are you actually intelligent?
I don't watch TV. I know it exists, and I go, oh, that's cool. If I were to care forever ago, so
That's true.
yeah, because like I just go, that's neat. Although hearing that it's set in an alternate universe is like, really? There's not enough storytelling to go by in the original timeline or something. But okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think Josh even cares about like the original timeline and shit.
not really. No, it's just aliens were fucking up shit. We gotta go deal with it, and then they go deal with it, and then shit happens, and that's.
I mean, you know what other universe aliens were fucking up shit?
What?
The Half-Life universe, which also is the Portal universe.
Yeah. I mean, if that's is that a segue to the desk job?
Motherfucker, why did you call that out?
I had to say that because I'm like, wait, are you doing a segue? I don't know.
I mean, it is a segue.
That's good. Alright. Well, yeah. Like, did you play it?
Yes, I beat it.
Ah, yes. And even Ben played it as soon as we're done talking on the podcast last week.
Allan, have you played Death Job?
Nope.
Or have you just?
I watched
watched
somebody play through it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That game makes me want a Portal 3.
Like, it does.
I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah, like, it does make... It does make me want to actually get a fucking what's it called, the stupid handheld that Steam put out.
Steam Deck.
It does make me want to get a Steam Deck, because just so I could be like fiddle with the buttons and go through that stupid app, basically, figure it, like, see what it does. But at the same time, it's like, maybe it's really expensive. But the thing they put out is fun, is all get out. And it just kind of makes you go, man, you don't know what their headspace is and what they have next planned, but it's like, I wish you kind of made video games again, because that was like the best little chunk of fun I had since ever. And yeah, like, even though, and another funny thing is the game recognizes what controller you have when you plug it, when you freaking start up the game. So the game's like, oh, you only have a 360 controller? That's fine. You can get by with just that. But just to let you know, better experience if you have the fucking Steam Deck. Better experience if you got that, bro. You gotta get a Steam Deck, bro. And I'm like, I'm just gonna continue with this and have fun. And yeah, like I said before, fucking lot of references. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like, no matter where you look, you're like, oh, that's a reference. Oh, that's pretty sure a reference. And as you get to the last level of the game, quote unquote, there's another reference, and you're like, holy shit.
How many references are in this game?
There's a decent amount. I want to say I counted at least 4 or 5. There could be more.
That game, I'm going to say this very quickly about that game. The game does like stuff where it's like, I play it and I'm like, oh, this is so good. And they do such good character work too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I do wonder for that the robot that comes in and like try to be your manager type of thing. I do wonder like how much is ad-libbed and how much is written or like scripted.
I think a lot of it's ad-lib.
I almost guarantee you it's a lot of it's ad-lib.
There's a moment where he's like, yeah, we're in witness protection now.
Yeah,
we're in witness protection now.
Absolutely ad-libbed. A lot of that's ad-libbed. Like, that was him like making commentary and stuff like, and like you can tell where there's certain things where like you absolutely like, I almost guarantee the start of the conversation of going up to the elevator, shooting at the dishwashers.
Oh no, it's hardwares.
Yeah, it's hardware. And you're doing that. I suspect that's where that was scripted. But I suspect that like you're going to jail, we're in witness protection, and the stuff leading up to meeting Cave Johnson again.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee you all of that was ad-libbed. I think the Cave Johnson stuff was fucking phenomenal. I'm Cave Johnson. Oh my god! Like, I heard that voice, I was like, "There's no way they did that." They did.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, they encased my brain inside of the stone head.
No, they put my brain inside a computer, and then they put my brain computer.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that point of like when you get to the fucking. Like, yeah, so they kept making it bigger and bigger, and I'm this big now. He's just a giant fucking head. Like, that was a big intimidation. Like, when that first happened, I was like, the fuck? And he, yeah, when he says, no, I'm not behind the head, I am the head. Like,
I was like,
you had to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so perfect. And like the entire plot point of that TV is like, yeah, you're hired to literally test toilets.
Yep. Oh,
and then you made it making guns.
I was gonna say was a before, like, or hell, this storyline for Death's Job could be anywhere between before Atlas or the Aperture Science went to shit, or it could have been a separate timeline. This could have been like it could be anywhere between, or maybe just at the right point where Mr. What's his name, Cave Johnson, right?
Yeah, Cave Johnson here.
So
Cave Johnson here.
Or it could be like right at the point where Cave Johnson finally disappeared off the face of the earth, and there was no one in control except for maybe GLaDOS, and then GLaDOS took over, and it was like, there's so many questions with that. I just kind of wonder where the timeline is this.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know what timeline this is. Like, here's the thing. I really hope to God that, like, if they made a Half-Life 3, they would touch on Aperture.
Yeah, definitely. Or what a lot of people hypothesized was Half-Life 3 was going to involve the portal gun. And like and you're just gonna portal around fucking just Half-Life 2 maps and shit like that. And like that would have been cool. Like,
well, the original idea for Half-Life 3 was you were going to find the Borealis, and then you were going to use the portal gun in order to send it to the Combine world, and then you were going to use the Borealis as a fucking missile.
Oh yeah,
to supernova their sun.
Was that the leak?
That was the leak.
Okay.
And then they came out and they're like, yeah, that's not it anymore.
Because it got leaked, and the guy was pissed. Yeah. I mean, I would be super pissed too, because it'd be like, you're not gonna like. Did he work on it specifically, or
the guy who made it worked on it and then wrote it because fans kept asking him?
Right. Because I mean, it's been so many years and nothing. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just hope that if this is like a practice thing, like a practice video game for them making a real video game, I can't wait. Or hell, they could make a fucking pixel platformer for the Death Job, for the not Death. Actually, they could make a weird platformer game for the man. I keep blanking on the name on the handheld. The
Steam Deck.
God, I just want to say fucking controller, because it's just a controller with a screen in the middle. But
it's a Nintendo Switch.
It's a Steam Switch. There we go, Steam Switch. The Steam Switch. I just hope like if they make like another cool game, it could be short if they wanted to. It's just that like, man, I just want to see more because it's just fun, and the guys seem to know what you're doing. And it's just like, man, let's go back to the fun, weird shit. Because it's.
I mean, that's something that's missing from most video games nowadays.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's still like Kirby. Actually, Kirby came out.
Kirby came out.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I can't wait to touch Vor Simulator when I get paid again.
I can't wait. I can't wait for us to go back to the GameStop. And then be like, yes, we will totally take Kirby. And when they ask us, do you guys want the warranty, to be like, I don't know. Do you guys cover the game being thrown into a snowblower? No? Then no.
Do you cover the game being purposely thrown into a wood chipper? No? Oh, okay.
No? Well, okay. Yeah, okay. Then no.
And the game somehow lives through the wood chipper.
Shit.
Yeah,
this is making Allan cry.
Well, I'm just
he's just indifferent. Although I'm right now just looking at some different forms of fucking Kirby, and it's just, how did the Kirby team know at all what they're making?
Oh, oh my god.
Like I saw it before, and now I'm seeing like more video of it, and I'm like, did they know? They had to. They
know what?
Like this weird giant mouth vor bullshit going on, like half eaten, half not.
Oh,
like
the mouthfuls.
Yeah, the mouthful abilities. I'm like, do they live in this happy, bubbly universe? If they do, I want to be there. I want to be there.
I don't know. It's interesting to know that Kirby is like. It's interesting for me to know that Kirby has the same sucking power as my ex.
What the fuck, dude?
That's terrible.
I was
It is.
not ready for that statement. Like, yo. Like, yo, stop. If your ex is got the sucking power of Kirby, yo, you need to see God.
Whoa.
Why do you think we stopped dating? She did it once, then my soul left my body. Oh.
You're dealing with a succubus at that point, and you need to stop.
Yeah, we broke up soon after. It was great. Is it because of the sex? Yes, absolutely.
It was terrible. God awful. Jesus.
I saw my maker. It wasn't very nice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anything else we played? I mean, I played a lot of RimWorld and I played some Elden Ring.
How's your RimWorld?
Great. I made a feminist death colony.
Did you?
I somehow fucked up and made all the women nudists, and all the men have to wear blindfolds.
Oh my god.
I'm sure that's going swimmingly.
It's not. They all get hyperthermia daily. I'm like, oh shit.
What else is going on?
How's Elden Ring, Allan?
I finished it.
Yeah, you didn't come and play Battletech. We were all very upset.
I wasn't gonna do it last night because I was working on a bunch of homework. I literally got done the homework at 4 o'clock, handed it in, did another bunch of homework, handed that in, and I was just like, I'm not going to Battletech tonight. I just want to fucking mulch on the game. And the thing is like, not last night, but the night before, I beat the best boss in the game. I think one of the best bosses. I will agree with what Rory says. This is going to be me talking about the game in its complete form, looking at it from what I've heard from people talk about from views, some issues that I found, and things that I don't agree with. Things. I do agree with Rory. With a group of people who discussed it last week. They discussed Elden Ring in full and long, detailed content. I think the repeating boss is a problem because you will find that the bosses start to repeat later on, and they become like really bad repeats.
Yeah, it seems like there was some that they just copied and pasted.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few of those actually. There's a boss that should not be like. There's a cavern a tunnel boss. So tunnels are where you get like the resources for like smithing, like level +1, +2, +3, +4, all those weapons. And this cave that's related to that has I'm just trying to think of the fucking word. Has the one of the bosses for a quest related to one of the, like to get another specific ending. Related to a character named Ronnie. You have to fight through that boss, and that boss fight is fucking phenomenal because you enter the room and it looks like he's just in a field of stars, and it's so wonderful. And then you fight him in this cave, and it's actually tougher in the cave, and I don't know why. He's got more health, he's got harder hitting attacks, but he's also like in a cave somewhere strange. And that's a problem. They also have another character that is the end game boss, but appears earlier, so he's weaker and really easy to kill. But like, I'm kind of like, I really wish they hadn't put him in, and if they or they put in like the head of the guard, and they made him a Lindale Knight with like really good powers, where he's got like good dashes, and it's all about speed rather than taking the hits, where he's like the opposite to what the Lindale Knights are. There's other bosses, but for the most part, the game is fairly solid. Enemies roll catch you way too easy in that game. Like, roll catching is a very big thing. I roll, but because I started my roll like a frame or two too early, the attack catches me, so I take damage. It's actually really bad. Additionally, I think a lot of bosses in the game, and a lot of very specific encounters too, have input reading built into them. Mm-hmm. So you'll be fighting along, and then suddenly like you'll roll away and go to heal, and the enemy will, like, as you start to heal, start up a lunge attack to reach you and get you as you finish your heal, and it'll take off all the health that you just regained.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Connectivity issues have been constant throughout the game. I have yet to be able to play a game, a full run through with the game, or do a full proper dungeon with a friend, and not end up getting disconnected because of bad connectivity issues. Another major problem is that certain builds are just better, and I mean, like, there's a build called the Bleed build, which is built off Arcane, Dex, and I think it's Vitality. I don't remember what the third one is, because like certain builds build certain things. My main build is Strength and Faith, and I build Vitality, Endurance as the bit of a split. But the Bleed build is every time you hit something, it causes a bleed. It sets up a bleed stack, and then if you hit a certain number of times, it causes bleed to proc. So you'll be going along, you'll walk up to an enemy, and as long as they bleed, because there are certain enemies you can't bleed proc, but most bosses you can, except for like the final two that I've noticed. You'll go up, you'll bleed proc them, and they'll be dead in like half a second, and you're like, oh, this is an easy boss fight. Like there's like the first real big boss, Godric, the Grafted. You can bleed proc him and have him done in like 5 minutes. Like, you could probably, like, actually hit him so hard, so fast, that when you start phase 2, he's got, like, 10% of his health left, depending upon how you build. So Bleed's actually, like, really, really good. Other bosses, and I'm not going to spoil anything for a lot of later bosses. Some bosses have abilities where they, on impact, even if you blocked and didn't take any health damage, they get a heal proc. So you'll be fighting them, you'll put up your shield, you'll block the hit, and all of a sudden they just healed like 200 HP or 400 HP, or in one very specific case, 600 HP every time he procs you. And I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. And they've got some fast attacks. Although I think the later bosses in the game are designed around the idea of having a group of friends to play with, and that's what I think me and Rory like found out. Like, we were playing very specific bosses and stuff like that. And like, but the boss that I love in the game is the second last boss of the game. Like, when you go to finish that game, you're going to run into a character named Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. And it's so good. Like, that's a boss fight I want you to reach so badly, Jeff, because I want to play in it again, because it's so good. Like, it's up there for me for Soulsborne game fights. Because my favorite in Dark Souls ones is Ornstein and Smo and or just Ornstein and Smo, because there's not a very lot of Dark Souls 1 bosses I really, really enjoyed. Or, well, I do enjoy, but they're not my my favorites. In Dark Souls 3, it's like Calamite as well for Dark Souls 1. It's the Abyss Eater Midir, Gale, Soul of Cinder, Nameless King. There's one other one that I really, really love in Dark Souls 3. I'm sorry, I'm gushing about games, but already this boss has already skyrocketed up to like into that crowd.
Number one?
No, he's not number one. I still think Gale is Gale is my favorite overall, but he's up there. Like, he's like one of those characters. I really do like another boss named Melania. You won't meet her for a while, and when you do, I'm not helping you with that one, because as much as I enjoyed doing it the first time with my buddy, we did it on one try. Like, me, Rory, and a guy named Cirrus, we walked in. I pulled out a bleed weapon. Rory had a bleed weapon. Cirrus had a bleed weapon, and we just went and just bleed proc, bleed proc, bleed proc, bleed proc, bleed proc, bleed proc. All right, and then next phase start. We just circled around, stayed away from her. We got up, but she's got some moves that and this is a boss that when she hits you, she heals. So it's actually an active game of attrition. On top of that, she has a status effect based on some of her attacks. So, like, certain attacks cause you to proc Scarlet Rot, poison, AIDS, plus, like, it's actually like a really, it procs hard. Like, it's like, hey, you take 20% of your HP, 10% of your, or 5% of your HP every proc, and it's actually like it procs every like 2 seconds. So proc, you're dead. And so if you're in a fight, you're not ready for it. You're like, oh, I gotta heal. I will say that I'm happy that Fire finally built that. Finally, a lot of abilities actually scale off things that make sense. Fire procs off Strength, awesome. Lightning and Holy, of course, scale off of Faith. Arcane scales Frostbite and Bleed. And I think Poison and Scarlet Rot are built off Int. I can't remember. There's a number of actually super viable builds in the game. Bleed is just the best, though. Like, 60 Dex, 60 Arcane, 40 Vitality, and you're golden. And then maybe a little bit into Endurance, or I think it's 30-30 for Endurance and Vitality. And you slap everything. You kill it in like 4 or 5 hits. And there's some bosses that you can just straight up like proc, done. Yeah. I gotta play it 2 more times though. I gotta get 2 more endings. I've got all the other achievements besides the 2 ending ones that I gotta get, and one of them I'm not looking forward to doing because it's actually like a really frustrating final build to do. What do you think of Elden Ring so far, Jeff? Because I know you're playing it right now.
I just got up to the first troll.
The first troll?
Yeah, the gate.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. My recommendation is just to blow the fuck through that gate. Get on your horse and just fucking go.
Just run?
Yeah, that is actually an area you're not supposed to fight in. You're supposed to go through that gate all the way past, like just weave around it, and you'll come up the hill and into a very windy area, and you'll see a site of grace just off to the side of the road, and that's where you're supposed to go.
Because I got past, I got to the actual cathedral, and then I got to the military base.
I'm trying to think. You got the military base, which is the. You got the map from there?
Yeah.
All right. That's just a little outpost, and then you're going through the first gate, which is a site of grace at the start, which is 100 meters away from another site of grace. Have you got your maiden?
Yes, I got maiden.
All right, you're good.
I have the maiden. God damn, she's pretty.
You haven't got the round table yet, though, so I can't talk about that.
No. I do have the ashes and the bell.
Have you talked to? Oh no, you haven't made up the hill, so you haven't talked to Ashes Lady. All right.
No, I have the ashes.
No. There's another character in the game that helps you level up Ashes, but she's right after. That's why I said you have to run up the hill, get to that site of grace, and right next to that site of grace is a woman you're supposed to talk to that gives you the ability to level up Ashes once you get the round table. And upgrading Ashes is really good in this game. There are some bosses. I actually really did enjoy this game. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Sorry, but yeah. What are you building? Just strength and.
I am currently building strength and dex. I have the sword, the 2 swords.
Which swords?
Or the sword and the mace from the carriages.
Oh, you're building that. Oh. If you're also, I do know if you're building strength dex, that means you're going to be able to fall from a little bit higher up. Because given the way that the game works, if you have a higher dex and you fall off a little bit of a higher point, it increases your ability to take less damage or stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game. It's so far so good. It's something where it's I've been actively streaming it. We'll see how long that lasts. But I play it every now and then.
I promise you, there's going to be a couple bosses you're going to get to that you're going to get really frustrated with. One of which I'm not going to help you with because I just don't want to do it for you. And it's better than no. It's legit. Like I don't want to do it for you because I think me being there would actually hamper you as a boss in the boss fight.
You're implying that that you and Rory are going to be helping.
No. Well, we might. Maybe you'll ask us to help. But the thing is that there are certain boss fights that like I've straight up like there's two bosses that I straight up won't help you with. Because not because I don't enjoy them. It's because one is a boss fight that even though I could put the sign down for, I'm not going to because it actually hampers you a lot. It gets rid of your specific mobility because it's a boss fight that requires you to be on torrent. And if you summon me, you don't get torrent. So that's why I'm like, no, you need to be able to do this boss fight on your own, and it's going to take you a while.
The legendary spectral horse torrent.
And the other boss fight that you're going to probably end up doing on your own, and I'm saying that you're going to end up doing it on your own, but you probably should do on your own, is I'm trying to think of the name right now. Jesus Christ. Is the fire giant. Late game. He's not a hard boss, but it's a boss that you should probably do on your own again because you do get torrent for it, and torrent kind of helps you, but it also kind of hampers you. It's weird. Like I recommend doing it without torrent. I know I've seen people do it with torrent. I've seen people do it without torrent. I did it without torrent, and I recommend don't do it with torrent because it kind of makes you easier to hit and gets you knocked down, and then makes you really easy to damage really quickly. The other big thing is that I'm trying to think. When you get the chance, always level up your weapons. Always, like make sure they are like for the first big boss when you get to Godfrey the Grafted, you should be able to you should be able to I think get level 4 or 5 for standard weapons and maybe 3 for weapons with Somberstone. I think you can get up to there. Most of the weapons I use now are level 10 because that's the high, level 10 and 25 respectively, depending upon which one it is. You're always going to want one bow being leveled up with you. Whether that be a great bow or just a regular bow, or a crossbow or a great crossbow, depending upon what you want to use. I prefer the bow, but the crossbow doesn't require you to wind up, so it comes up faster, but it requires a reload. But yeah, that's my recommendations. And depending upon how you do your build, you can probably carry more than one weapon. For most of my journey, I only carried a single weapon on me with my talisman and shield on my other arm. Because I prefer heavy armor builds, so I have one. If I'm lucky, I get 2. I've got my build to such a point now that I've got a good weapon and a light weapon.
I want to see Josh play this game.
Josh would probably enjoy this game, but at the same time,
I think he would.
Probably.
At the same time, I'm scared about my TV getting thrown.
I don't think that would be a problem for Josh.
No, here's the thing. I would probably wrist flick the controller onto the ground. So you gotta worry about controller smashing on the ground.
You gotta realize, I got really mad one night, and I got so mad that I actually stopped and said, I'm gonna stop for the night and just gonna go home. Go to bed. And I went to bed. What I recommend, if you get to the point where you are so mad or so angry about something, just stop playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped playing when I got to the troll, and now I'm being told to skip, so I'm like, ah.
I know. Actually, what was the last? I can't remember the last thing I got super pissed at, but I do remember one time I got real fucking pissed. I had a video game.
Oh, it was me. It was me.
Was it? Because
yeah.
Well, no, this other time I remember getting mad at a video game, and I just said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna clean my room, and I did.
That's always the best.
You just hate cleaning your room because you hate the other thing more. You're like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. This room's gonna be spotless. Oh, fuck. I just remember that. I was just like, oh man, I can't remember what game it was or why I was so mad at it. But I'm like, I just decided to clean my room because I was spite this other thing. I'm like, yeah, there we go. That's how you do it. Fuck. Yeah. What was the other? How did I get mad about it with you? I don't remember that one.
What?
You said I got mad. I got mad at you or at your.
I don't know. You usually get mad at me. Usually it's revolving around something stupid. And 9 times out of 10, I usually sit there and I go, okay.
Sometimes
I fucked up. I fucked up.
No, it would be like
Me stupid.
no. I would just point something out, and then you assume I'd be mad. I'm like, I'm just not mad. I'm just pointing something out.
There's been a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, is that podcast?
Yeah, that's a podcast. I'm ready to go to bed.
Or do we want to talk about Elon Musk buying Twitter?
It's not going to happen.
Good luck to him. I would say salute, put my hand on my head and go salute and good luck.
Imagine if he did.
I don't think it's going to happen. Like,
I don't think it is either, but I think I also said that Ukraine wasn't going to happen.
It would be funny.
Wouldn't it be just a hellhole though? Like, isn't Twitter just a hellhole that loses money like
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the reason why I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen, but it would just be like...
I think he would be... I think that if he bought it, I think he would be buying it literally for the meme.
Yeah.
Of like literally just causing as much chaos as possible.
And then finally it's like, it loses too much money. I'm closing it. Say goodbye to Twitter.
It just lost so much money. I guess we're going to bankrupt the company. That would be the thing that actually makes it for me, is if they sat there and said, we're going to I guess we're going to close down the company because it doesn't make money.
The one thing I have to say, like, if Twitter somehow goes away, who or what will take its place?
Truth Social.
Because I'm like, I'm sure there's alternatives, but are they any good? I don't know.
Truth Social and maybe Getter.
Oh, God.
But it's definitely going to be one where like people can say naughty words.
Time for naughty words.
Time to say the F slur. Fuck.
I'm going to say the N word. I'm going to do it.
Nigeria?
Nigeria.
No.
Nicaragua.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to Black Mike. Thank you everyone for listening to Black Mind Games podcast. You can listen to us every week, every Thursday on Black Mind Games. Podbean.com. You also subscribe to us on every podcasting app of choice. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Allan. Nah. Well, I was tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I said you're tired.
I am tired, actually.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the pre-rambles this week because Josh is late.
Oh,
Very late.
I got a sneaky suspicion we're not going to even be doing much of a long podcast either.
I think if we can talk about the Halo show, Death's Job. Has anyone else, or am I the only one who's watched it?
Halo?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty much the only one who's watched it.
Okay, so great. My opinion is going to be law.
Okay.
Great. Fantastic. Desk Job's good. Josh, did you play anything this week?
I think, or I just played more Pokemon Arceus. I did download a game on my Switch that I've been wanting to try out a little, but I just haven't bothered to hit the play button on it. It's interesting because it's called Pento Box. I think it's called Pento Box. And basically the idea is that it's a Punch Out, but it's an adventure game. And you're basically, the whole thing is that you're in the position and everything as a Punch Out character, but you're walking around as like, you're on a quest type of thing, and you're doing boxing stuff to solve problems. It's pretty hilarious. So far what I've seen from the trailer, so I'm like, I gotta try that eventually.
That's good.
All right, let's sync and get going. I'm actually surprisingly tired now. Oh.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Sync in 3, 2, 1.